Dakota insists Jamie and Amelia Warner's divorce wasn't her fault. Dakota Johnson sat by the window of her apartment, high on an old building in the suburbs of Los Angeles. The late afternoon light was falling, soft on her face, a faint golden glow on her cheeks, her gaze fixed on the street below, where cars whizzed by, pedestrians seemingly oblivious to the beautiful sunset. She looked at the small photo on the coffee table, a picture of Dakota and Jamie Dornan at an awards ceremony a few years ago. They were smiling, hugging, happy. The image had once been a source of strength, a sign that anything was possible, love, hope, a future. But now it brought sadness, a shadow of the past that she no longer wanted to run from, but could not completely extinguish. Dakota closed her eyes, remembering when Jamie told her he was divorcing Amelia Warner, his wife of many years, the mother of his beloved children. The news was not new. The press had been full of rumors, the text messages, the whispers, but for her, because of the feelings between her and Jamie, the news weighed heavier than any blank sheet of paper with words. She had never thought she would be the cause of that breakup. But the whispers from society, from people's hearts still lingered. Dakota Johnson, people said, was the reason Jamie got divorced, making her sad, making her hurt. And today, she decided to say what she believed. Divorce was not her fault, but more than anything, when love is gone, it is best to free each other. 2. Love and invisible distances. Dakota clearly remembered the early days of meeting Jamie. They first met at a film lab commercial shoot, where Jamie showed up to discuss a role, and she attended a small event. They talked, laughed, and she felt that Jamie was a person with depth, with passion. And then they grew closer, through phone calls, through letters, through moments spent alone. Jamie always said that Dakota made him believe in love, not the flashy love on the red carpet, but the love of everyday life, the mornings making coffee, the simple dinners, the comfortable silences when nothing had to be said. Dakota loved the way Jamie looked at her, loved the way he listened to her stories, loved the way he encouraged her when she was afraid of public scrutiny or afraid she wasn't good enough. But there was still Amelia Warner, Jamie's wife, best friend, mother. They had a history, a family, countless memories. Jamie used to tell Dakota about the house he and Amelia bought together, about waking up together in the mornings, about the times they nurtured their passion for art, about their children, about the peace he thought would last forever. Dakota understood. Jamie had Amelia in his heart, children, a past that couldn't be changed. And Dakota also knew, love doesn't last forever. Sometimes it changes, sometimes it fades, and sometimes, even though people want to keep it, reality doesn't allow it. 3. The news echoes. It was a lightly foggy morning when the first email arrived on Dakota's phone, the news that Jamie and Amelia had officially divorced. The news was shocking. The press was full of photos, captions, divorce because of a third person. Dakota appeared with Jamie when they broke up. Artist blogs, fan pages, showbiz spin-offs, all were buzzing. Dakota felt hurt, but not because of the divorce, but because of the way people blamed her. She read articles. Dakota intruded into Jamie's family. Dakota was the reason why a relationship that lasted for many years fell apart. Those words were like knives cutting into her heart, knives of misunderstanding, of hasty judgment, of feeling like she was the one who ruined things. She knew that Jamie and she had been close, that there had been chemistry, deep moments. But she had never thought that loving someone meant hurting someone else. And she didn't believe that love should ruin a marriage. She believed that if love was gone, if two people no longer shared the same dream, couldn't maintain a connection, then breaking up was the choice for both of them to find their own happiness, and it wasn't anyone's fault. IV. Words from the heart. Dakota decided to write a small statement for the media, for her fans, and more importantly, for herself. She found a quiet place, a bright room, with plants, gentle sunlight streaming in through the windows. She turned on her computer, opened a white file. I'm Dakota Johnson. I know there's been a lot of talk, a lot of writing, a lot of speculation. I want to make it clear, Jamie and Amelia's divorce is not my fault. I'm not the replacement. I'm not the cause. When love is gone, when people can't continue, it's the right thing to do to free each other. Not because one is wrong, not because one is lacking, but because both deserve to be free, to be happy. She sat still, looking at her words, imagining Jamie's and Amelia's eyes if they read them. She thought of Jamie and Amelia's house, of the child, of shared memories, of the promises that had been made. She thought about how love could fade, how it could change, how it could lose its common voice. She continued, Jamie and I, we loved each other, we shared each other. But I don't think it's love to stay together forever if there's nothing left to share. I don't think it's a good thing to continue out of obligation or because you're afraid of being told you've broken up. I believe everyone deserves the chance to live their lives to the fullest, without the burden of a relationship that no longer has motivation, no longer supports, no longer appreciates each other. She paused. Her fingers flew over the keyboard, feeling heavy. Part of her wanted to stop, for fear of the consequences, of people misunderstanding her even more. But she knew, if she didn't say anything, she would leave a void in her heart, allowing people to continue to say the wrong thing, to continue to think she was the one who ruined it. The unannounced meeting. One afternoon after the press release was sent out, right after the article ran, Jamie called Dakota. His voice was low, a little hoarse. I saw what you wrote, Jamie said when she picked up. Thanks. Dakota was surprised. I just wanted people to know how I felt. I didn't want to cause trouble. I didn't want to hurt anyone anymore. I just wanted to tell the truth that I believed. Silence. She heard Jamie sigh. You're right, he said. It's not your fault. There were things between Amelia and me, distance, a sense of not being on the same page, not looking in the same direction. I love Amelia, I respect her, but sometimes we grow in different ways, dreams change, feelings change, things we used to share don't happen anymore. Dakota heard his voice break. Do you understand me? That I don't want to be the one people blame for. I understand, Jamie said. You don't deserve to be held responsible for the outcome of something you had no part in causing. I know you're happy not because of who I am, but because you chose to be with me, and if you leave, or if I leave, it should be because we're no longer together, not because one of us cheated or violated. I'm sorry for letting the rumors hurt you. Vi. Amelia Warner and the other side. Amelia Warner is in England, in the small house where she still spends most of her time with her children, with flowers and music, composing, playing the piano when it's quiet. She heard about Dakota's words. Through the papers, through friends, through social media. Some told her to stay calm, some told her to react, some told her to say her blessing. Amelia sits in the living room, looking out at the garden, her roses, her camellias, the changing weather. She remembered the first day she and Jamie fell in love, the warmth, the loyalty, the desire to build a family together, to live simple but meaningful days. She remembered singing together in the kitchen, watching their children sleep, sharing silent evenings, not saying anything, just being together. Amelia didn't feel angry at Dakota. She didn't want to blame anyone. She understood that Jamie and she had reached a point where the words, I love you, were no longer enough to keep the relationship together. She understood, people change, hearts change, the gap between dreams can be so great that it can't be bridged. She wrote a letter, not to send it, just to put it on paper. I love Jamie so much. Love him for what we have in common, for our honesty, for the long nights we spend talking about music, about art, about our children, for the hope that we would never have to say goodbye. But there are some things that cannot be maintained, no matter how hard we try. And some loves, to be complete, sometimes need to be let go. She couldn't decide who to send the letter to, Jamie, Dakota, the press, or herself. But writing it made her feel better, a recognition that the end wasn't a disaster if you looked at it with a peaceful heart. 7. Crisis in public opinion and inwardly. Although Dakota spoke out, not everyone believed her. Some people wrote negative comments. You are trying to show off, you want to be famous from a broken heart, you are covering up the truth. The words were like small knives cutting into her, but unlike before, she was mentally prepared. Dakota had days when she cried silently in her room when there was only the sound of the clock ticking, when she looked out the window at the gray sky, when she remembered the times when she loved Jamie and thought it would last forever. But there were also days when she felt light in her heart, because she spoke out, because she did not let her heart be burdened by the words of outsiders, because she believed that the truth, however slow, had the power to heal. Jamie had sleepless nights too. He thought about Amelia, about his children, about his responsibilities, about the feeling that he had made others sad because of his change in heart. He thought about Dakota, about what had happened between them, about the look in her eyes, about her saying that the divorce wasn't her fault. He questioned himself a lot. He could have been a better person, could have not let things go on for so long, could have spoken up before the distance was too great. 8. The bridge of forgiveness and understanding. One sunny morning, Jamie visited Amelia and the children, quietly, without media. They sat in the living room of their familiar house, the wooden table, the light filtering through the windows, the birds singing outside. Amelia looked at Jamie, not scolding, not blaming. The children ran over, hugged them both, and returned to their own childlike world. Jamie apologized for the way things had gone, for being silent, for letting rumors lead the way, for making others believe in processes that weren't clear. Amelia listened. She says that there is no big mistake in the two of them not being able to continue, that continuing just because of fear of the other person being sad, fear of being called a quitter, fear of being called irresponsible, are not good enough reasons to hold on to a love that is no longer there. Jamie says that he understands that more than ever, that he has learned to respect the person you once loved, not only when you still love them, but also when you have to let go, by being sincere, by speaking up, not letting others feel like they are the cause of something they have no control over. X. Friendship or new freedom. Dakota and Amelia have never met to say it officially. But from afar, there are small signals. A text message from Dakota to Amelia. I hope you know that I have no desire to hurt you. I want truth and respect. Amelia replies, thank you for speaking up. It is important for each person to be true to their feelings. Jamie watched them both, Dakota and Amelia, through such light interactions, through text messages, through private comments. He realized, sometimes love is more than possessiveness, more than jealousy, it's about giving, about wanting the other person to be happy, even if that happiness isn't in the way we want it. And he saw that Dakota didn't want to be the winner, she just wanted to be seen as someone who loved, who shared, who was a part of a life, but not the reason anyone suffered. She wanted everyone, including herself, to understand that liberation doesn't mean defeat, but the recognition that each person has the right to move on with their own life.